Anticipated fight, and one that is very rare in boxing today. It's a unification fight. We've grown so used to WBA and WBC championship fights, and there is only one undisputed champion right now. That's in the middleweight division, Marvin Hagler. Now in this fight, barring a draw, we'll have a unified world light heavyweight champion, and it's a battle that should be a good one of extreme contrast. The WBA champion Michael Spinks had a tremendous amateur career, won a gold medal in 1976 at the Olympics in Montreal, won the WBA light heavyweight title against Eddie Mustafa Muhammad July of 1981, and has successfully defended his crown on 5 occasions. Dwight Braxton, meanwhile, no amateur career, got started professionally in 1978. His record is 19-1-1. 12 of the victories by way of the knockout route. The only loss coming in his 3rd professional fight. Won the title by beating Matthew Saad Muhammad in December of 1981, and has defended his title 3 times since. Now the rules. The 10-point must-scoring system is in effect. 10 points to the winner of a round, 9 or less to the loser. The 3 knockdown rule has been waived. There's a mandatory 8 count, no standing 8 count in effect. There's no saving by the belt except in the 15th round. The referee, who does not have a voice in the scoring, is Larry Hazard of New Jersey. The 3 judges who will do the scoring are Tony Castellano of New York, Tony Perez of New York, and Frank Cappuccino of New Jersey. Now the tale of the tape. Michael Spinks is 26 years old. It's been well chronicled that Dwight Braxton spent 5.5 years in prison, got a late start professionally. He's 30. Each man came in under the limit this morning. Spinks at 173, Braxton at 174. Now look at the tremendous difference in height. Spinks 6'2½". Braxton is the shortest light heavyweight champion in history at 5'6 3/4, and Spinks also has a reach advantage of 4.5 inches. So the battle at hand now for the unified light heavyweight championship of the world. Round 1. Here we go. Braxton against Spinks. Normally, Michael Spinks is a very slow starter. Spinks in the white trunks, Braxton in the red. Braxton figures to put all of the early pressure on, but Dwight here initially in round 1 anyway, backing up a bit. That's a most uncommon position for Braxton, who is a swarmer. He likes to work inside, and with Spinks' obvious height advantage and reach advantage, it would behoove Braxton to work inside on Michael. Both men coming into this fight burdened, one physically, one emotionally. Braxton physically, by virtue of the fact for the better part of a month he's had a cold. Some in his camp are calling it an allergy. Spinks burdened emotionally. His common-law wife, Sandra Massey, killed on January the 7th in a car accident in Philadelphia. Some thought Michael would cancel out of this fight. It was not to be. The action in round 1. Spinks also arrested 2 days before Sandra Massey was killed on a gun charge, released on bail. The charge is pending. Braxton delivering as Dwight and Michael tie up. The referee, Larry Hazard, separating the two. Halfway through round 1. These two, no strangers to each other. They spent a lot of time sparring in a Philadelphia gym in 1980. In fact, they sparred about 120 rounds. Braxton, as is his custom, and you'll see it throughout the fight, it's sort of a smiling sneer, a rather mysterious sort of look as he misses with a left. Spinks backing away and misses with a wild right, and now Spinks starts to pummel him in the corner. Braxton was off balance. Michael landing a couple of shots, missing a lot of punches, even though Spinks was throwing a lot of leather. Michael was not connecting, and Braxton, after working his way out of the corner, tries to get Michael into the corner, and Spinks now backing away. But against the ropes again, Braxton pursuing him here. 25 seconds remaining in round 1. The World Light Heavyweight Championship. end of round 1 at hand. Second round at the Atlantic City Convention Hall. An interesting opening round in this fight. Michael Spinks, normally a very slow starter, but Braxton forcing the issue. And Spinks, obviously, in his mind, not about to let Braxton pile up any sort of an early lead, if at all possible. Spinks initiating a lot of the action. Everybody thought, especially early, that Braxton would initiate all of the action. Braxton, the swarmer. Spinks, obviously, 6'2½", more of the classic stand-up type. 7 3/4 inch height advantage for Spinks. Braxton trying to move inside, and Spinks nimbly backing away. Good right by Spinks, but he misses there. And again, that smiling sneer, a source of mystery to many people by Braxton. He likes to be asked about it. He'll give you any number of different reasons. He figures the more mysterious it is to his opponent, the better off he is halfway through round 2. The rope, Spinks measuring him. That left jab looking for any sort of an opening, and then Braxton lashing out, but Spinks backing away. Spinks moving backwards very well, moving out of the range of Braxton's flurry. Dwight pursuing again. Both men doing a pretty good job to this point, picking off what would be some lethal punches. Good left that time by Braxton. Braxton pursuing again, and Spinks tying him up. 30 seconds remaining in round 2. Braxton, by the way, has changed his name. It is Dwight Muhammad Qawi, Q-A-W-I. But for this fight, Butch Lewis, the promoter, said, you signed as Braxton, you're fighting as Braxton. He's known as that tonight. Braxton trying to keep the pressure on. Spinks, if you've seen him before, loaded in both hands. Good action so far. Second round ending. Spinks resting on his stool until the last possible second as the bell sounds for round 6. Michael Spinks against Dwight Braxton. Spinks coming out fast. This fight more quickly paced for Spinks than his recent fights would indicate. He's been scoring rather effectively with his jab. And Braxton's had a tough time landing anything with any great effectiveness outside of one flurry early on. Spinks missing a lot of wild lefts and rights, and Braxton that time, it may have looked like a smile. That was definitely a sneer. Braxton, as if to say you're throwing everything you've got and you still can't connect. For the first time in the fight, missing with frequency here in round 6. So missing right and a missing left. Halfway through the 6th round. Braxton hunched over, a tough target on the move. But having trouble trouble doing anything offensively. There's that left hand down very low, daring Spinks to unload. Spinks picking off a couple of punches, but now Braxton working inside. Under a minute left in the 6th round. Good 1-2 by Spinks. But he misses with 2, and then a left is picked off by the gloves of Braxton, and another wild left by Spinks. Braxton could be hurt. Spinks flailing wildly with that left, but Braxton now able to come back under a half minute to go in round 6. Braxton putting the pressure on now. Seconds remaining in round 6 in Atlantic City. Going to the 8th round at the Atlantic City Convention Hall, Michael Spinks, the WBA champion. Dwight Braxton, the WBC champion. Braxton has lost only once in his career. Spinks unbeaten, 22-0 with 16 knockouts. And it's been his fight to this point, but Spinks goes down. That was a slip. That was a slip. No knockdown. Spinks coming out with a left. Keeps sticking that jab. Braxton landing a good right. But no ill effect shown by Spinks, but now he goes down. But that's another slip. That's a half slip. Still, it's ruled. Let's see, Hazard's going to rule that as a knockdown. Spinks is saying, what are you talking about? That wasn't a knockdown, and Hazard says, yes, it was. So he took the mandatory 8. Now, Spinks is saying it's slippery. That's where I slipped, as if to point to a spot on the canvas where he went down. So the first time it was definitely ruled a slip. The second time ruled a knockdown. Braxton here in round 8, coming out of nowhere. He's landing some effective punches. There's no question about that. Be it a slip or a knockdown, he's been effective, but he walked into a solid left. And now Spinks pummeling Braxton, but he slips down. Michael slipping down for the 3rd time. Once it was ruled a slip, once it was ruled a knockdown, this time it's ruled a slip again. So Spinks, who was delivering the blow, was the man who went down, apparently on the moisture on the surface. Spinks with that elbow, you can see the elbow making contact with Braxton. That's something they've talked about with Michael through the years with his fights. The possible fouls. 45 seconds remaining in the 8th round. It's been a good round for Braxton. It's been a strange round. Spinks going down 3 times, twice ruled slips, once a knockdown. Though Spinks thought he slipped 3 times. Braxton again connecting here. Seconds remaining in round 8. Spinks backpedaling, backtracking. Braxton on the move. Still the aggressor. Beyond question, Braxton's best round of the fight. Landing with a left there. That's the end of round 8. So Braxton, who was doing very, very little through the first 7, is awarded a knockdown here in the 8th round. Spinks going down a total of 3 times. Ice bag. Twice it was ruled a slip. Larry Hazard over to check the spot that Michael contended he slipped down upon. And again, we're going to take a look at some of the action now from round 8. That's what they ruled the knockdown. At first, we thought it was a slip. Spinks thought it was a slip. Then they said Braxton to a neutral corner, and as you take a look there, I think that replay indicates that what happened was Braxton stepped on Spinks' foot, and that caused him to go down. It was ruled a knockdown. It's been the only one in the fight thus far. We would give that round to Braxton regardless, and we go now to round 9. A little blood from the nose of Dwight Braxton. They worked on that between rounds. Spinks, as he did early in the fight, coming out very quickly with a left jab. Braxton coming to life in round 8. Up until the 8th round, we were beginning to wonder what effect the cold, or as some in his camp call it, the allergy that he's had for a month, what effect that's had on Braxton. Round 9. His nose more in evidence right now in round 9, halfway through it. Spinks fighting well inside, moving away from the ropes, looking for an opening and tying him up. Come on, let's go. 1 minute left in the 9th round. Spinks again nearly slipping. If indeed he is slipping on moisture in the ring, that has to be a very disconcerting feeling. He went down 3 times in the last round and nearly again here in round 9. Spinks with a very active left jab. And a wild left. And Braxton comes back. A counter right by Braxton. Countered right over Spinks' jab. Wild missing left, and that's the end of round 9. The 11th round. This is as far as Dwight Braxton has ever gone in his last title defense, November 20th of '82. He knocked out Eddie Davis in the 11th round here in Atlantic City. Spinks has gone 15. He went 15 to beat Eddie Mustafa Muhammad and win the title in July of '81. Spinks taking advantage throughout the fight of the reach advantage that he possesses. Much the taller, of course, 7 3/4 inches to be exact. Coming into the fight, a lot of observers felt that of the two, Braxton was perhaps the more skilled, while Michael was the superior puncher. Good right by Spinks. You can see the punching power that he possesses. But through the fight here, in our estimation anyway, piling up the points. It was that left jab early and then combinations later on. Good combination again by Spinks. Loading him up a little bit more. Halfway through the 11th round. moment with just no answer for whatever Michael is dishing out, is what it amounts to. So one good round for Dwight. And he's been moving in, walking in, trying to be the aggressor. Spinks getting tagged there. Good 1-2 in response by Braxton. So Braxton, just when it looked like he might be finished and tired, and perhaps the cold and/or allergy was taking its effect, that's the second time that's happened. He came back in round 8, was credited with a knockdown that Spinks would dispute. Still, it was his best round, and here in round 11, when it looked like he was hurt, he was able to counter and come back. Seconds remaining in the 11th round. End of the 11th round at hand. Scheduled for 15. This is the longest that Braxton has ever gone. Knowing he has to come on, really forcing the issue, but Spinks fighting back, escaping the ropes, moving, showing good movement. For Spinks, this is the second longest fight of his career at this point. We mentioned he went 15 against Eddie Mustafa Muhammad to win the title 2.5 years ago. Braxton, our feeling anyway, would need a very, very big finish here, if not a knockout. We're in the 12th round. Back to that left that was so effective early. The jab and the right. And another. Punishing jab. Braxton still moving and darting. But Spinks doubling and tripling on that jab. And again, the blood flow from the nose of Braxton. Taking full advantage of that reach. You've heard about trainers, people who work with fighters saying, use that jab, 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 jab. It's effective. Spinks giving a little bit of a lesson tonight, showing that it is a very, very effective punch. And he's maximized its usefulness. Did it early on, doing it again here now in round 12. Blood now flowing from the nose of Dwight Braxton. And that can't help his breathing, obviously. And you know that he's had the congestion with a cold or allergy. 12th round. Michael Spinks doing a lot of effective jabbing throughout the 12th round. Very much his fight to this point. Braxton on the move, though. Braxton landing. And Spinks will weather this round. But all of a sudden, again, just when it looks like Braxton is finished and he has no chance, back he comes. That's the third time he's exhibited that tendency here in Atlantic City. 14th round in what they had billed as the brawl for it all. It may be. It has not really lived up to everybody's expectations. Mainly because Spinks has been so effective. Braxton coming out as he has done throughout the fight, moving in, walking in, showing aggression. But he's been coming up short. And again, the effects of the congestion problems that he has had in the month preceding the fight. come immediately to mind. What effect, if any? You can't denigrate Spinks, though, as we mentioned early on. It may have been a physical problem for Braxton, but for Spinks, and only he knows what it must be like losing his common-law wife on the 7th of January, and yet not asking for a postponement of the fight. And 2.5 months later, getting into the ring and doing a whale of a job. 14th round. Halfway through the 14th, and Braxton all of a sudden unloads, and Spinks looks like he's in trouble. Spinks moving away, getting off the ropes right now. Braxton and Spinks tying up. Spinks all of a sudden again, Braxton coming out of nowhere, and Spinks looking as if he was momentarily dazed. But Braxton really didn't take full advantage of it. If anything, Dwight continued to stalk, but Spinks was able to back away and circle. And again, it looks like Spinks has weathered the storm, at least for the moment. Under a minute to go in the 14th round. Braxton with a right to the side of the head, but it wasn't that effective. Seconds to go in the 14th. Braxton with 2 good rounds in this fight, particularly good rounds, the 8th and this the 14th. But is it too late is the question. Into the 14th round. Round for the Unified World Light Heavyweight Championship. Michael Spinks in control of this fight. Though Braxton may have taken the 14th round, Braxton no doubt will look for it all here in the 15th. Will try to end it, but Spinks comes out very aggressive. Michael Spinks, one of the 5 gold medalists in Montreal of the '76 Olympics. He's the only man to hold the title right now, the only unbeaten man of the 5. A career that started professionally in '77, and remember, in '78 and '9, only 3 fights in the entire 2-year span. In good measure due to a knee injury. Then back he came in full force in '80, won the title in late '81, and on the verge here of making yet another successful title defense. It would be his 6th. And clearly, his biggest victory is at hand. Spinks and Braxton. Dwight, a loser just once, and you got to go all the way back to 1978 to find that loss to Johnny Davis, which he subsequently avenged. That was his 3rd pro fight. Spinks 22-0 with 16 knockouts. Coming up on the halfway mark of round 15. So Spinks trying to prove the old adage, the good big man can beat the good little man, at 6'2.5" to Braxton's 5'6 3/4, taking full advantage of the height differential and the reach differential. Using that jab very, very effectively early on, scoring with enough combinations, able to weather the 2 storms that Braxton presented in the 8th and 14th rounds. As we go under the minute mark in the 15th round. 50 seconds remaining in the fight. Braxton, knowing he has to be more aggressive than he's proving here in the 15th round, but perhaps just out of steam. Seconds remaining. expected an early knockout, but people seem to be talking in terms of a knockout anywhere from the 8th through the 12th round. But this one is going to go all the way. Spinks and Braxton winding it up in the brawl for it all. The light heavyweight championship fight at Atlantic City, and it is over. So Spinks and Braxton go all the way, 15 rounds, and I'm sure no doubt in Michael's mind that he has won it.
When the scorecards were announced, Michael Spinks had indeed won it. Judges Tony Perez and Frank Cappuccino had a 144-141, and Judge Tony Castellano 144-140 to make Spinks the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. Dwight Braxton declined an opportunity to talk about the fight, but Al Michaels talked to the champion in the ring in Atlantic City.
Michael, what about the plan that you had tonight? Did it work? What about the plan that you had tonight? Did it work exactly as you had anticipated?
I had a plan, just stay out of his way. Stick and move, yeah. That was the whole thing, outbox him. I shut him out with a jab. I can't believe it. That was God's work, it wasn't mine. And I know it because I couldn't do it. I didn't see no way out of the fight. I didn't even know how I was going to go into the fight. Coming into the ring first, it didn't make a difference. I didn't care. As long as I was on time, like I say, that's all I predicted. I'll be on time each and every time I fight.
Well, there's no question you outclassed him. Were you surprised that the decision was as relatively close as it was?
Oh, well, I think Dwight put up a hell of a fight. He was all over me. If he didn't do nothing but be aggressive, that was it. He did enough to score high in the fight. But the next time I knock him out, I know I will.
What about the knockdown, the supposed knockdown that you disputed the 8th round?
That was funny, but it didn't make a difference.
Was it a slip in your estimation?
He stepped on my foot and I fell backwards.
Were you having trouble during that round with your footing?
Oh, no. No, as scary as I be, I have no problem with running from nobody.
The executive